Alright, we're going to run through a quick overview of the internals of this boat. So here's the up front storage area. You can see got a fair amount of decoys in there, quite a bit of structural support. I did actually carpet the inside of that just to keep down the rattling of the decoys, maybe make the decoys last a little bit longer if possible. There's just my little support bar, super easy, notched out of the spot. So in this piece right here, I can actually hold, I think, 60 decoys in there, which is a pretty fair amount for a little boat like this, especially if you're just hunting yourself or maybe one other guy. Here's just a small little area that I store random stuff in. These just sit down. I don't have to do anything and worry about latches on those because they curl over enough that they just stay in there. Put these down before we move on, so they're out of the way. There's the dog hatch. Not sure how well you'll see it. You can use it for goose decoy storage. When the dog is not in there, she doesn't ride in there when I'm driving. So I just fill that thing up with goose decoys as much as possible. Then kick them out, and the dog gets to sit in there once we're rolling. Here's just a view from above on the seats. You can kind of get them from a different angle until I get inside here in a minute. Those seats do actually fold up too as well. The bottom does, so in case we want to walk around. But I've gotten to the point where I pretty much just walk on them because it doesn't really matter. We're going back here to the motor area. I'm just going to crawl up in here and show you quick what's going on. So this is how this works. Gas tank, I sit there. This is the hatch that comes over. Quick little tip, if you ever run a two-stroke and you're mixing oil all the time, take a permanent marker somewhere on your boat, write what your amounts of oil are per gallon that you put in. Makes life a little bit easier in the mornings in case you ever forget like I do. Alright, so as I'm sitting, this is my view right here as I'm driving. You can see a pretty clear view to everything. The boat ride's really flat, so I have no problem seeing around any of this. It's all super low. Down here, right in the center, is where my battery goes. This is just a little storage compartment that you can see. Random stuff in there, extra wires, whatever. Close that, get it out of the way, and show you the main cockpit here from inside. Alright, so you have to excuse the mess. I have not cleaned it up since last duck season. So we just sit, our legs go underneath there. We sit right down on these. They do pull up. Here, I have a latch system that they just latch up out of the way if needed. Works pretty well, I guess, and I do use it once in a while. Probably didn't need to put them on hinges and do that, just extra work, but in the end, it's kind of nice, I guess, to get them out of the way if you need to. So there's that. I did put hydroturf on the walls of this as well. I actually did put windows in the back that have opening patches that just velcro out. Didn't need to do that. That's a lot of extra work. I never ever look around that way. If I need to, I just look around the sides. So when this is down, this is kind of what you're sitting in, and we just pull this top piece out, and let's get a hold of it here. That's what you're sitting under. So really, there's not much for a bird to see in there. It covers all the way to the end of the blind, so we kind of got everything covered. So if they're right on top of us, they are pretty much clueless to what's going on. Slide that back out of the way, and we're good to go. So that's really all there is to it. While I'm up here, I'm now going to try to show you as best as I can how I actually built this without having to weld. So all the framing to make, obviously the difficult part without a welder is making joints and making things, because you can only screw so many things together. There's ends and pieces that you can't screw together. Well, this steel here, if you can see this, try to focus in on it again. I don't know if I can focus in that close or not. There we go. Alright, so what you're seeing here is I've got a piece, this piece right here runs all the way along on the frame of a door. To make all these intersections, what I did is you take another piece of tubing and you cut out 3 of the sides and you leave a 1-inch piece that overhangs right here. That little overhang you can run, I did a rivet, but you could run a self-tapping screw through that and screw it right to this, and then you do the same up on the other end up here. You can kind of see I did the same thing. And on these corners I actually went the opposite side. I wanted to keep as much of them off of the side the sheeting was going to be on as possible, but I did also want some to be up there since that's where the pressure is going. It holds remarkably well. You can see here's another view where I've painted and it's got it just zoomed in or focused here, so you can kind of see what's happening. Get my shadow out of the way there. I think it's actually a pretty slick way to do it. I would highly recommend just doing it with a welder if you can, because it is way quicker to do it with a welder than just to cut all that metal out by hand, come back in and drill all those. But it does work, and if you just really don't want to weld, that is definitely a way to do it. I've had no problems, like you saw me walking across it. There's no part of this boat that I can't walk across. And with guys a lot bigger than me have walked across it, and it actually works very well. So that's kind of a wrap up on this boat, and I'm going to let you guys go. By the way, this boat is for sale. If you are interested, please email me, or if you see this on Instagram, shoot me a message or a DM. I will talk about pricing or possible trades. Thank you guys, and be sure to follow along. I'm going to keep posting stuff like this as we're going, moving to some photography tips as well for ducks. I dabble in that as well. Thank you much.